Outside, this building looks as boring as any warehouse on Earth. That's because it's inside where all the secrets are. Yeah, this is a high-tech automotive fabrication company run by one of the legends in the business.
Anybody who knows Ford racing knows the name Jack Roush, a man who's taken his many years of racing expertise and applied it to street cars.
That's right. Roush Performance modifies not only the Ford F-150, but also the Expedition SUV and, of course, the Mustang. Now, let's take a look at how Roush builds their supercharged Stage 3 Mustang.
This is the 2001 Roush Stage 3 Mustang, which combines slingshot acceleration, road carving handling, and brute force braking in a fierce automotive package. The Roush Stage 3 significantly elevates the athletic skills of the production Mustang to delirious heights. Later on in the show, we'll treat you to the results of our Motor Trend full tilt track testing of the Stage 3. But first, some background on how Jack Roush, the race team owner, became Jack Roush, the specialty car manufacturer.
About 5 years ago, the company decided that there was a niche available that they might be able to fill. Someplace between, and in fact our marketing motto is between a race car and a road car is a Roush car. We decided that with our racing experience and our engineering experience and all of the capabilities and knowledge put together, we could build some very exciting cars for the street. We currently have almost 225 Ford dealers around the country participating as Roush Performance Centers, selling the cars. We sell the Mustangs, Expeditions, and F-150 trucks through that network of stores. And there are stores in almost every state now.
Lately, it seems as if there's a new tuner-based performance car being announced almost daily. It's a red-hot market segment right now, and a car like the Stage 3 will be going head-to-head with a batch of boutique muscle cars.
The difference between the Roush vehicles and, say, an OE vehicle is that we take the car into an area that most of the manufacturers haven't gone. It's a little more aggressive, but it's different from a tuner car that might be very aggressive but not have all of the balance and finesse that an OE vehicle might have. We have found a fine balance so that you still get the cornering ability. You can really hustle these cars, but you also enjoy the comfort of the ride.
The Roush West Coast facility we visited certainly had all of the earmarks of a Roush operation, with surgically immaculate shop areas and a corral full of freshly delivered Mustangs getting various stages of mechanical and cosmetic makeovers. Stage 1 Roush Mustangs are essentially appearance enhanced, while Stage 2 cars receive tricked-out performance suspensions and underpinnings. The Stage 3 versions get all of the above plus a real shot of performance multivitamins. We'll tell you about that later when we take the Roush Stage 3 to the test track on this edition of Motor Trend Television.
Issue.
A big cross-drilled slotted brake rotor. Just one of the many tricks that Jack Roush has taken from the racetrack and applied to street cars.
That's right, and Jack Roush is certainly one of the leaders in modifying Mustangs today. But did you realize that it was over 35 years ago that another famous Ford racer worked his magic on the original Mustang?
The history of the Mustang as a true performance car is a story that goes all the way back to 1965. Just a year after the Mustang was first produced by Ford, the original pony car was a polite little four-seater that could be ordered with a small block V8. First a 260 cubic inch and later a trio of 289 cube versions. But none of these gave the Mustang the kind of pavement-melting performance that it needed to dominate the muscle car wars, or to be considered a threat on America's racetracks. The answer was to call in a specialist.
And so what they did is they went to their hired gun, Carroll Shelby. He was their in-house gunslinger, and they got him to come out with a limited number of cars that were modified, that were distinctive, yet they were not that far from a Mustang where people would see the car and not distinguish it as a Mustang.
To differentiate it from the production automobile, the first and most obvious thing was to put the 2 Le Mans racing stripes on it. That differentiated the car to a tremendous extent. And when I had the opportunity and they said, you can do anything you want, but we don't have any money, paint was the easiest thing to do, and that came to mind.
To address the performance equation, the Shelby gang dropped in a modified 289 V8, making 306 horsepower in street trim and closer to 400 in race mode. They gutted the interior and pulled out the back seat to shrink the Mustang's overall weight to just over 2,500 pounds. They gave it a race-tuned suspension, played around with its cosmetics by adding a hood scoop, stripes, and wheels, named it the GT350, and then went racing.
The car started winning immediately. The first race at the GT351 was on Valentine's Day in 1965. First time it was entered in a race, the first time it won. That wasn't really a surprise to Shelby. They knew that the car was situated in the right class and it would be able to win right out of the box.
That was an understatement. The GT350 went on to win the SCCA B Production National Championship in 1965, 1966, and 1967. Over the years, Shelby GT350s evolved from uncompromising brutes to more civilized luxury GTs. In 1967, the GT500 was introduced with Ford's big block 428 Cobra jet engine. And then in late 1969, the Shelby Mustang program came to a halt. True fans of the Mustang mystique will never forget the original 1965 GT350 and how it gave that enormously successful pony car a deadly set of performance fangs that have endured for over 3 decades.
With vehicle smog laws seemingly getting tougher every year, it amazes me that you can buy a supercharger bolting on 120 horsepower, yet have a motor which passes emission standards and still get pretty good mileage if you can keep your foot out of it. Yeah, this is the Roush Stage 3 Mustang, and I'm here to tell you, it is one hot pony.
There are plenty of modern-era muscle car wannabes that talk the talk but can't walk the walk. The Stage 3 Mustang can not only walk the walk, it can walk away from just about any production car being shipped from Motown. The Stage 3 engine begins with a bone-stock 4.6-liter single overhead cam V8. Then the Roush boys get down to business. They add an Eaton supercharger, an Allied Signal intercooler, a high-performance intake manifold, modified mass airflow sensor, upgraded Bosch fuel injectors, a BBK throttle body, and a low-inertia aluminum flywheel. All of this tinkering gathers up a massive helping of horsepower. 360 at 5,250 RPMs and 375 pound-feet of torque at 3,000 RPMs. That's big.
Roush's Stage 3 upgrades include a very comprehensive improvement to the overall package. That's wheels, tires, brakes, and suspension for improved handling. You've got a body kit for that look, and then, of course, a supercharger for the engine, exhaust, and some engine management upgrades.
The Stage 3 can be ordered as a coupe or a convertible, and with a Tremac 5-speed manual transmission or Ford's 4-speed automatic. The Stage 3 package itself comes in 3 different levels: the base model, Rally Group, and Premium package. Prices run from about $39,500 for the base and $48,975 for the Leave Nothing Out version. But all Stage 3s come with that Eaton blower and 360 horses. Otherwise, there are numerous optional parts and pieces that predicate which level is which, but suffice it to say, you can go as mild or as wild as you want. So let's get to the main course. How quick and how agile is the Stage 3? At the EVOC training facility in San Bernardino, California, we hasten to find out. Did we say hasten? How about 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds? 0 to 100 in only 11.1 seconds. And the quarter mile in 13.1 seconds at 108 miles per hour. This is a horse that flies. The car we used for the actual testing was a 5-speed coupe, but this automatic-equipped convertible was capable of similar numbers. 0.98 Gs on the skid pad proves that the Stage 3 can corner. The Stage 3 has a suspension upgrade including Bilstein shocks, a stiffer front anti-roll bar, and aluminum rear lower control arms, all working well together. Throwing it around the EVOC oval was further proof of that. Stopping from 60 miles per hour took 126 feet. Frankly, that's a little more distance than we expected. However, the brake system credentials are impressive. 4-piston Alcon calipers and 14-inch discs up front, and 2-piston PBR calipers and 13-inch discs in the back.
The track here at EVOC has some fairly steeply banked curves, and that's one of the things that impressed me most about the Roush is how crisply it dives into those curves. It's very flat, much more neutral handling attitude than a regular Mustang GT, and good stick all the way around. It's much improved over a normal street car.
Inside the Stage 3, there aren't a whole lot of changes to report, except for high bolster seats, an electroluminescent gauge cluster, and a fuel and boost pressure gauge on the A-pillar. Most everything about the Stage 3 was a keeper with the Motor Trend gang. Most, but not all.
I'd say my favorite aspect of the Stage 3 Roush Mustang is the fact that it just performs all around better in terms mostly of its handling. The handling is quite improved over a standard Mustang, again with good grip, good brakes, all that kind of stuff. The least favorite aspect for me is the fact that it's a lot of money. I mean, these aftermarket pieces are expensive to develop and sell in small production, and it's very costly, more so than an SVT Cobra Mustang from the factory would be. So it's a lot of bucks for a Mustang, but it's one that performs awfully well.
In the end, we agreed that the first impressions of the Roush Stage 3, based on its edgy, extreme, bad boy exterior, were easily backed up by how this goes about its work.
I believe that Roush has accomplished their goals. For something in between a race car and a road car is a Roush car, and this one truly does perform on all fronts better than an average Mustang.
Well, that brings this episode of Motor Trend Television to a close.
If you want to know more about anything you saw on the show today, pick up the new issue of Motor Trend magazine on newsstands now.
Or you can go to our website, motortrend.com. I'm Wendy Walsh.
I'm Steve Van Toon. We'll see you right here next time on Motor Trend Television on Speed Vision. Pick up the new issue of Motor Trend magazine on newsstands now. That's pretty much right on. Then you move that light.
There's the light. Find your light.
You move the light.
For more automotive information, log on to speedvision.com.
I'm Wendy Walsh.
I'm Steve Van Toon. We'll see you right here next time on Motor Trend Television.
That was bad. My bad.